Yo, what's good, everybody? This is the first episode of Ignore the Whistle podcast, and I'm Andy Wang, and I'm joined today by.
Aman, Narang.
Anush, Chaubal.
And Nayan, Menezes. Let's go.
All right, so for our first topic of the day, we're gonna just go through basically the week 17 of football, and we're gonna try and just try and explain our predictions for this week's slate of games. So we're gonna start with the Vikings Lions, relatively meaningless game. Of course, with Dalvin Cook out, I think this is a pretty easy one. I think I still got the Vikings going, taking this one by a wide margin.
Yep.
I
You're
would
pretty
agree
much
with
useless franchises. Who really cares?
Yeah, that's true.
I'll take the Vikings, but I cannot give less of a poop.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I can't go with the Vikings because the Lions suck. I mean, like they got no defense, no offense, and
Right.
I don't. And yeah, how about
Still
you?
beat the
Manish?
Bears, but
Yeah, Vikings are gonna win.
Gotta
I
ask.
mean, they're just a better team overall.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah.
pretty simple.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the next game, Andy?
We can go with Falcons Bucks next game. I mean, last week tough game for the Falcons. You know, my boy Younghoe Koo kind of choked that last game. Can't blame on him. That was a windfall, but obviously I think the Falcons they look decent, but it's a pretty easy pick. I got to go Buccaneers here.
Yeah, I'm going
Yeah.
Bucks too. You know, the Bucks they need to win for the 5 seed, so they're going to be trying, and so I got them winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. I gotta go with the Bucks. Also, look good. The Falcons still have a good defense. The Buccaneers have Antonio Brown, Mike Evans as your main weapons, and yeah, I don't see the Bucks losing at all. Have a
Yeah, I
great
mean,
time.
yeah. They've
I
been
think we
heating up
just gotta.
recently.
Yeah, I think we just gotta take a time to appreciate Young Hoku. Probably the best player of all time, and he was clearly doing a service to his team by missing that field goal, securing them a better pick.
Yup.
Like
He's the goat.
I mean, he's just a man of the people. Like he's
Yeah.
just trying to help everybody out, like sacrificing his own personal success for the team
Right.
success. That's what a teammate does. But with that being said, I am also taking the Bucks. Yeah.
All right, and then I mean with Jets Patriots. I mean this is if you told me maybe a year ago that a Jets Patriots game would be close. I mean I call you crazy, but here we are. I mean the Jets been heating up past 2-game win streak.
Oh yeah.
Patriots they've been struggling. Cam Newton not having a great year. Got benched last week for Jared Stidham. So that's all you need to know about that. I'm going Jets here, honestly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Probably the worst game of the week, but I'm gonna go with yeah, we'll go Jets too.
Yeah.
To be honest, I got the Patriots. I don't see the Patriots losing to the Jets. I think the Jets will go back to normal and lose this final game. And I don't think they want to
I can see that.
Yeah.
It's possible, yeah. I mean Frank Gore's out next week, so they got Ty Johnson starting in, so and we'll see how that works.
And plus, I don't think any team will be trying at all. So I gotta go with the Patriots here.
I mean,
Well,
you
Jets have secured the number 2 pick.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Patriots might try to lose though for the pick, you know.
Right.
True.
But who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you really just got to feel for Jets fans because, like, they're probably one of the most least talented teams in the decade, and they still somehow, of course, they got to mess it up, win 2 games at the end of the season. Now they lose out and possibly one of the best quarterback prospects we have ever seen. So, you know, you just got to feel for Jets fans, but you know, you already secured the number 2 pick, so I'm just gonna give you guys a win here. You guys are trying to pick it up. I don't know why, but you are.
I mean, Justin Fields ain't that bad.
Yeah, he's not that bad. Or if you got Zach Wilson, who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? But like, I guess things are looking up. You're starting to win. You beat the Browns and the Rams, so like, those are not bad teams at all. So like, I mean, yeah, you guys are. I mean, things are looking up. You just gotta look at it that way.
Next game is a pretty big game. In terms of AFC playoff seeding, we got Dolphins Bills. For the Bills, if they beat the Dolphins, they'll clinch the number 2 seed. They can also get the 2 seed with the loss. Which is if the Steelers lose, And I think the Steelers, since they're resting multiple starters, including Roethlisberger, I think it's a big possibility the Bills get the 2 seed. But in terms of this game, I know the Dolphins have a lot on the line. I think it'll be a lot closer than people think. But I'm gonna go Bills right here. That Allen Diggs connection is too lethal. They're hot right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to be honest, I don't really see the Bills losing this game. I mean, the
Yeah.
Dolphins, like, they're a good team, but they're just not as talented as the Bills. So I just don't see them losing. I just don't see the Dolphins winning.
Right. Right.
Yeah, Josh Allen looks very good this season. 40+ touchdowns, less than 10 picks. So I mean,
Hmm.
Josh Allen is just looking really great, and so I think the Bills win.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, I think this will come down to like who has the better strength. Obviously, the Miami has their defense, and the Bills have the red hot offense, and I think that red hot offense is just going to continue to succeed. So I'm gonna take the Bills here.
Right. Right. And I think it might be time to start considering Josh Allen MVP. Maybe not this year because we know that race is basically over. But next year, I think he'll be in the top three
Yeah,
He
for
has a good
He's
candidates.
chance.
second for my list right now.
Second right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, behind
that
Rodgers.
leap that he made from last year has been like
Yeah.
astonishing.
Crazy.
Like he pretty much couldn't throw the ball last year.
Yeah.
Pretty
Yeah.
limited, and now he's like I don't know. He's just hitting all the deep balls and all the throws he needs to.
Pause.
And
I
he's
mean,
really
now
transformed his game
Right.
and
I
made
mean
him
now
into
he
a
has a
lethal
weapon with
weapon.
Stephon Diggs. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so next game, Steelers Brown is another big AFC seeding
I
game,
don't know.
but we know the Steelers are resting multiple starters, basically in half their offense, their key players. So, but the Browns, they got a lot to lose right here. They just last week they could have clinched with a win against the Jets. Obviously, we know they had practice squad and high school JV squad receivers starting for them, but they got to win this game to have a chance. So even with the Steelers out, I mean, it all depends if Landry and the rest of that receiving core is back. I think with the receiving core back, I think they've got a good chance. I think they can pull this out. But um, I think if without the receiving core, I think they're probably gonna lose this tight one. Honestly, I don't know how
Yeah.
Mason Rudolph is gonna be, but I know that Steelers defense is pretty decent, pretty good, probably top five in the league right now. So I'm gonna go Steelers even with their starters out.
All right, first of all, I'm pretty excited for Miles Garrett and Mason Rudolph part two. That's
That'll
gonna
be
be
a good
really
matchup.
interesting.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that game.
Mhm.
But personally, I gotta go with the Browns. Like, I don't see the Browns. Like, the Browns are more motivated to win than the Steelers, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And the Browns have more to lose, right? So I gotta go with the Browns here. I think they'll bounce back against the second team of the Steelers.
Yeah. I am also gonna take the Browns. Like my man, Sylvester Stallone said, when a man has nothing to lose, he is dangerous. Um, Browns have nothing to lose at this point. They've been trashed for I don't know how long, and it's finally time to get that playoff spot. And even if they don't, it's just gonna be another Browns year, typical Browns year. But this is their time to shine. I believe
Right.
in the Browns. Let's go.
That's fair. That's
Yeah.
fair.
Me too. With the Steelers starting Mason Rudolph, I don't think they're gonna win. And then there's
Mhm.
probably more starters too. So
Right. Right.
I'm going
Okay, that's
Browns.
fair. That's fair. All right, let's move on to a pivotal NFC East game right here. Cowboys
Okay.
Giants. The NFC East. Um, Pretty big game. We know the Cowboys, according to CBS, they got 26% chance. Giants got 23% chance to get into the playoffs. I mean, we know one of these hapless NFC East teams is going to make it. Right now, Washington is the favorite, but honestly, the Cowboys have looked good the past few weeks. They've looked decent. Their offense looked really good last week. The Giants, they've been all right. They had that great game against, of course, Seattle, where they had that great defensive performance. But honestly, I think Andy Dalton got that entire offense rolling. And that defense hasn't looked great, but I think it'll be serviceable against the Giants. So I'm gonna go Cowboys here.
Same here. I gotta go with the Cowboys. I just don't trust Daniel Jones with leading them past the Cowboys at all. He has been really inconsistent throughout the season. I just don't trust him at all. While the Cowboys have been really good, I just can't say that Giants will win. So I got Cowboys here.
Me too. They've been 4-2 in their last 6 weeks, so I think with that like streak right now, they are probably going to win since Dalton's been playing well recently, and yet Daniel Jones not so much. So I think Cowboys win.
Yeah, and Daniel Jones is actually he's limited, in practice, and he's questionable as of now. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean,
Okay.
Colt McCoy might have to start that game too.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, we need to talk about like none of these teams should be in the playoffs. First, let's get that out of the way. These are two butt crap teams. I don't want to see them in the playoffs, but they're gonna be there anyways. I mean, they have a chance. Like that's just kind of sad to me. Granted, the Bears have not been much better, but I still don't want to see these teams in playoffs. With that being said, I am actually going to take the Giants here. They do have a pretty decent defense.
Right.
And a good defense will always keep you in the game no matter what. And then Daniel Jones, like you said, he is inconsistent, but there is a chance that he can recreate that dynamic offense with Evan Ingram, and all their wide receivers. So I'm actually gonna take the Giants for this one.
All right. Let's go to Ravens Bengals. I think this one's pretty obvious. Ravens actually have something to play for here. Bengals don't. So I think Ravens have the chance. They have to make the playoffs with the win here. So I'm going Ravens here. I think Bengals. They probably don't really care about this game, honestly. So
Yeah.
Honestly, why would you not choose the Ravens here? Like, they have something to play for rather than the Bengals. They just want to lose for a higher draft pick, to be honest.
Right, yeah.
Like, why would they want to win?
Yeah.
So obviously,
And the Ravens
it has to be the Ravens.
Yeah, Ravens have
Yeah,
looked
and they're
really
high.
good.
Yeah.
And the Bengals, I mean, I think they have a bright future. They got a great receiving core with AJ Green, Boyd, and T. Higgins. They've got Burrow. They got Mixon, who was out this whole year. I think they have a good chance next year to do some damage in the AFC. But for now, yeah, I think they just, if I was them, I'd just try and lose this game and just get a higher draft pick.
Yeah. If they can get like Penei Sewell out of Oregon, that's gonna be a really, really good team. He's a really dominant left tackle, and that's how you have to protect Joe Burrow. Hopefully Joe Burrow's okay. And he's back to his normal self, because like he looks like a franchise QB. He has all the makeup for a franchise QB. And he's a winner, and he's not gonna want to lose for long. So Bengals got to support him, and the way they can support him is by losing and trying to get Penei Sewell, or more offensive linemen.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go to Jaguars Colts, another big AFC game with playoff implications. So, Colts, they have to win this game to get into the playoffs after blowing that lead to the Steelers last week, which was pretty sad for the Colts fans to watch. That was a tough game, man.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think this was pretty obvious. Jags have won lost 15 in a row, and James Robinson, he's out. So I think this is a pretty easy one. Colts, they've looked solid this year, so I'm gonna go Colts by a long shot.
Same. Even though the Jaguars only win against the Colts, the Colts have more to play for. So this one's easy. I gotta go with the Colts here.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, I think this will also be a Colts win, but like I feel like it might be closer than a lot of people think, considering the fact that Jaguars, they're probably going to try to win this week just to end the season on a high note. They've already secured the number one pick, so I feel like they'll actually be trying this week as opposed to that game against the Bears where they just got absolutely slaughtered by Mitch Trubisky, which is like, I mean, you might as well quit the season after that. But like, yeah, I feel like they don't really have anything to play for, but just to end the season on a win could do justice for that locker room. But I still think the Colts are gonna win.
They won't win, bro. They won't win with Mike Lennon.
Yeah, that's true.
Mike Lennon versus.
He looks like a dehydrated. He looks like a dehydrated giraffe right now. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, that's a consensus. Pretty clear.
Yeah.
Titans Texans. I mean, Texans they've looked rough, but Titans to clinch the AFC South and they get the 4 seed. All they got to do is beat the Texans. If they lose, um, there's still a lot of ways that they can make it. They just need one of the other teams to lose. So I mean, it's pretty. I think this one, even though like they have a great chance of getting into the playoffs still, the Texans have just looked rough on offense and defense. So I think this one's a pretty easy one as well. I'm going Titans here.
Same here. I gotta go with the Titans. I mean, the Texans are not a good team. They're horribly coached. The offensive line is horrible. Their defense is horrible. Like, how in the world would the Texans win? Like,
Yeah.
come on.
I mean,
It has to be the
got
Titans.
wide receivers taking drugs. Like that team is a mess. You have you literally have nothing to go for. I mean, you don't even have a draft pick, which is probably like if you want it, no team probably wants to take over this organization because they don't have any future and they don't have any present right now. Their team sucks and their future sucks.
Right.
So like it's a struggle in Houston. You're always gonna have Deshaun Watson, but how long can you keep him happy with this terrible team and terrible future? I think this is easy. I don't see the Titans losing this game. I personally think last week was a fluke. Fluke game for the Titans. That was pretty bad weather. Obviously, playing in Tennessee, you're not going to get that very often. Derrick Henry's a really good running back, possibly the best in the league. So I'm gonna go with Titans here.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Texans lost the Bengals last week, so I mean they're pretty bad. Obviously, they lost to Ryan Finley. So.
Yeah. Okay. So this next game, Cardinals Rams. Obviously, this is a big game for not just the Cardinals and Rams, but also for the Bears. So obviously we know that Jared Goff is out, and I don't know what the guy's name again was.
John Wolford.
John Wolford. Honestly, Kyler Murray I think he's questionable as of now, but he's gonna play. Yep.
Yeah.
But honestly, I'm gonna go out on a limb here. I think I'm gonna go with the Rams right here because I think John Wolford. We've heard some very good things about him. We know what he did in Wake Forest in college. He's been pretty decent, and that defense has looked good, especially last week. Even though it was against the Patriots, they look good. And Kyler Murray, he's hurt. It's about 2 injuries now that he's trying to deal with. But so I'm gonna go with the Rams right here.
Same. I also gotta go with the Rams. I mean, like the Cardinals like last week lost to a third string quarterback. I don't trust the Cardinals to win at all. And the Rams, like, they don't really rely on their QB much. Like, they could just run the ball to Cam Akers and rely on their defense.
Right.
So I just don't see the Cardinals winning.
Cam Akers is actually questionable.
He's questionable?
He has a high ankle sprain. McVay said he looks better, but I mean, I'm not sure. He's been limited in practice, so I mean, his status is up for question. And Malcolm Brown is also questionable. Same with Darrell Henderson. We're not really sure about who's going to be ready. Which one of those 3 running backs is going to be ready? So
I mean, if he's limited in practice, he's probably going to play because like this defines their playoff hopes.
Yeah.
I mean, you can always let the ankle heal up in the offseason. That's usually what players tend to do with the playoff game on the line. Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is a complete toss-up for me because in my eyes, I think the Cardinals might be a more talented team, especially with Goff out. Even though Goff isn't really that talented, but this is tough for me because although Goff, like, he can look really, really bad sometimes, but he can also make the offense flow very well at some points.
Yeah, with his checkdowns, right?
Yeah. I mean, it has looked like everyone remembers that game where they went head-to-head with the Chiefs, and they won, which is kind of crazy. Like, not many teams can do that. So, like, without him, I don't know if they'll win, especially with Cam Akers out. I know Henderson might be out too. Like they're gonna have to rely on their running game, and if their running backs are out, I don't know if they can win this game.
Right.
I'm hoping for the Rams to win because obviously my Bears. I want the Bears to make the playoffs, but I think the Cardinals will win personally.
This game could go both ways, but my prediction goes the Cardinals because, I mean, they're playing more motivated because Kyler Murray needs this win for the playoffs.
Mhm.
And then not only was Goff out, but Cooper Kupp is also out. So that's a bigger loss for the Rams. And so I
Right.
think because of that, the Cardinals are just way too talented to lose this game.
Mhm. Okay, so let's move on to a Saints Panthers game. So for the Panthers, not much in it for them, but Saints, they're still in that three-way fight for the 1 seed with the Seahawks and the Packers. So Panthers, no McCaffrey this week again, and no Mike Davis as well. So they're pretty shaken up on offense. Their defenses looked all right. Saints, we know what they can do. They've looked really good. Dominated the Vikings last week. The Kamara, 6 touchdowns. So I think this one's pretty obvious. Definitely the Saints taking this one.
I'm taking the Saints. I think it's obvious.
Saints, yeah.
Saints for sure.
hmm Okay, so here's the one that we all been waiting for. Packers Bears. So obviously
Let's fucking
y'all know where I stand. Um, um, so I think this one's pretty obvious, honestly, for me. We know the Packers absolutely dominated the Bears last time for 3 quarters. So I think this one's going to be blowout again, honestly. Even though it's at home for the Bears, they got that advantage. But Packers fully healthy. I think this one's pretty easy. I'm thinking a 30-40 bomb at least.
Oh, man.
Honestly.
Bro,
Okay, but
no.
yeah, Mitch Trubisky is definitely going to blow you guys out by 30. Like, I can see it. I'm picturing it right now.
Bro, look. Mitch said he wants to build a story in Chicago. I think that with this loss, that's not going to happen. And Mitch obviously he's been really motivated for this game. So has the rest of his players. I just don't see the Bears losing this game, to be honest. Like the Bears defense, even though they're struggling, screw Picano. Let the Bears defense be themselves. Just rush them every time. I don't care what to say. Go Bears.
Bro, Mitch is all pack.
Bear down.
I know y'all
Bear
seen
down.
him in that huddle in that week 10 or 11 game. I don't remember which one, but against the Packers, where he was in there hyping the whole squad up. They're all getting hyped. It looked like he was ready, and then he came out, boom, 2 picks.
Okay.
I'm not going to talk
Not
about
even-
that, okay?
not
He's
even, like,
shaking off the
contested.
rust. Shake
Not
off
even
the rust.
contested.
But
man.
think about this.
Shake
You
off
have the
the
Green
rust.
Bay refs here. Like they did not call a face back on that one play.
Okay,
That's true.
you still
There
lost
was
by
One
2
30.
fumble
face
that
back. They
set
did
them up
not
for a
call that.
touchdown.
You lost by 30.
Okay, we're not going to talk about that,
Lost
okay?
by
We just need to
30.
talk about the
Lost by
rest. Screw the
30.
Bears, okay?
Lost
Yes,
by
because the
30.
momentum shifted
Anyways.
to the Packers. Okay.
Regardless.
Refs can't help you score 30 points. Refs can't help you there.
Anyways.
They can't help that
Let's
defense.
move
true,
on
that
from
is-
that game. That was
but-
the past, okay?
Okay, but give me the Bears since their
Let's go.
defense will play motivated now because they have to win. And plus, Packers' run defense is terrible. And
It's looked
David
good.
Montgomery has
It's
been
looked good.
really, really good recently.
Past
So
few weeks, man, it's looked good. I know y'all seen that Titans game.
give me the
They lost
Bears.
Derrick Henry.
Give me the Bears. Okay. Now, this is where legends are made, okay? Mr. Trubisky, you seen as a bust when he got benched, okay? And before the season, considered a bust. But
Still
now
is a
he has
bust.
come back
is
with
a bust.
vengeance, and he is about to make a story.
Still a bust.
He's about
I
to make
agree.
himself a legend
I
in Chicago Bears.
Yeah,
history.
facts. He's gonna break
Okay.
so many records.
All right.
No,
whatever.
most interceptions in
Whatever.
a game. He's gonna
Hey,
break
shut
that
up.
tonight.
Anyways. He is going to be leading this Bears team to a win. This defense, it has not been good at all. For the last couple of weeks. Like, the fact that I am trusting Mitch Trubisky over Khalil Mack in that defense right now, that is not good,
That's
okay?
sad.
Because the
That's
Bears
very
are made
sad.
on defense.
Mhm.
But Mitch Trubisky is motivated for this game.
Mhm.
I really do think the Packers are going to win, but I am a Bears fan right here, okay? Right here. And I think the Bears are going to win this, baby. Bear down. Let's go.
All
Alright,
right, let's go.
alright.
That was
Let's
kind
move
of
on to the
cringy,
next
but I
game.
love it.
As
we
a
still
Bears
got
fan, I
Packers.
cannot say the Bears will lose.
Come on.
That's fair.
Bears fans don't say they're going to lose to the Packers. I don't care what the
Exactly.
circumstances.
Like even though the Bears are 0-16 and the Packers are 16-0, I cannot say that the Bears will still lose that game.
Mm-hmm. That's respect, though. Respect that loyalty. All right, let's move on to the next game. Chargers Chiefs. This one's pretty meaningless. Chargers are.
Who cares? Who
Yeah,
cares?
who really
Chiefs,
cares, honestly?
Chargers. Who
Chiefs.
cares?
Move on,
Yeah.
move on.
I mean,
Well,
the thing
actually,
is, the Chiefs.
Patrick
Chiefs have
Mahomes is
been.
not playing.
Yeah, they're resting Mahomes. They're resting.
So you know what? Give me the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm taking the
Actually, yeah,
Chargers.
you're right. I'll go
I'm
with
taking
Pick
the
the
Chargers.
Chargers. Who cares? Who cares?
Yeah,
though?
Justin Herbert.
Like,
Let's go.
useless
Yeah.
game.
Meaningless
Useless
game. All right,
yeah.
let's go. Seahawks 49ers, another game into the NFC 1 spot. I mean, 49ers, they got CJ Beathard starting. Ayuk is out. And I'm not sure
Mostert,
Debo Samuel. Is Debo Samuel? Yeah, Mostert's out too. I mean, Debo Samuel is also out. So basically, they down to scraps. They don't have basically their entire team. Oh my God, they got a bunch of bums from the street playing on their team. So I mean,
That's
this
still
was pretty
somehow
obvious.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
should put me as a wide receiver.
yeah. 49ers still got Fred Warner on defense. They got a few playmakers. Jason Verrett, who's looked really good this year, but I mean, that Seahawks offense, it's been shaky, but I think they're gonna tear this team up, and that defense has been playing really well recently. So I'm gonna go Seahawks here.
Yeah, same. Seahawks are still playing for the number 1 seed, so
Mhm.
they'll be trying, and then they have Russell Wilson. So
Right.
I don't see the Seahawks losing to a practice squad defense. I mean, not practice squad because like they still have some players, but like still, they're not a good team right now.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, this 49er team, probably the most injured team I've seen in the last 10 years. Like, you might as well just go to Burger King, hire the cashier, and let him dish it out, okay? Because this team has pretty much no one left. I mean, I don't know how they beat the Cardinals last game. Shout out to them, really helping the Bears out. But I just don't even know what to say anymore. The season's weird. There have been many upsets, but like I don't think this is going to be one of them. I think the Seahawks are going to win this one.
Yeah. All right. So, another meaningless game. Two teams that have been eliminated from the playoff race. Raiders Broncos. Raiders obviously got eliminated last week with that miraculous loss against the Dolphins. But I mean, this was pretty meaningless. Nothing in it for either team except maybe a bump up in a draft spot or two. But honestly, I think I'm gonna go Raiders here. The offense, it's looked decent, and the defense has been serviceable. So, yeah, I think the Broncos are just too inconsistent offensively with the play of Drew Lock and the rest of that team, especially with Jerry Jeudy asked for more targets. And he had 11 targets,
5 drops last week.
5
Man,
drops.
oh
Yo.
man.
Tough out here looking like Aman on the football field.
Hey, come on.
Not wrong.
Hey, I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah,
But to
so
be
I'm
honest, I got the Broncos winning this game.
really.
Like
I
even
got
though
I
Drew
got
Lock has been inconsistent, like he plays bad like 3 games in a row, then does good. I think this is the game he does good because like you said, the Raiders defense is serviceable. I disagree with that. Like they let Fitzpatrick throw a no look pass for like 45 yards. How is that possible?
Yeah, I mean that's on the play call, honestly. I don't think that you can't blame that on the players. That's just terrible. I mean, or maybe you can. I mean, I didn't really see the full play but honestly, I think you play a soft zone like that, and it was equal parts a good play and equal parts just bad play calling, honestly. But yeah,
that was one of the worst blown coverages that I've ever
I know.
seen. I mean, that was just terrible.
Yeah.
it was rough. It was rough.
I mean, you
But,
basically got You basically got the guy like his helmet is flipped the other way and he's still chucking it 40 yards to a wide open
Exactly.
guy.
Like, how is that possible?
I mean, like I don't know how you let that happen.
Yeah.
Like, I got Drew
classic
Lock.
Raiders fashion.
Mhm.
Classic Raiders fashion. I mean,
Right.
yeah. I mean, I've still got the Raiders winning this one.
Yeah, same.
They do have some pieces. Darren Waller's an absolute monster. Henry Ruggs, he's been pretty inconsistent this year, but he still has a lot of potential.
Right.
Hunter Renfro's been pretty decent. Josh Jacobs, obviously, you know how talented he is. They got some pieces, so and pretty much a lot of the Broncos have a lot of injured players. So I'm gonna take the Raiders here.
Okay. And then for our last game, Washington Eagles, the Sunday night game that no one actually cares about.
Oh man.
So yeah, I mean, obviously this game is pretty big in terms of the playoff implications for both teams and in the NFC. But we know how bad that division's been. But honestly, with the rise of Jalen Hurts and especially with Alex Smith, he's pretty questionable right now. I'm not sure if he's gonna play. But honestly, I think Jalen Hurts I think he's gonna take this one home and possibly give the Eagles a shot at making the playoffs.
Well, they're
So,
eliminated.
oh, they are. They're
Yeah.
Yeah,
eliminated.
Eagles are eliminated from the playoff
Oh,
contention.
yeah. Then I still think the Eagles are gonna win because, obviously I think they're gonna try and not Deshaun Jackson. Jalen Hurts has been hot, so I think he's gonna try and
Yeah.
keep it going. I don't think they would rest anyone, so I think honestly I got the Eagles winning this, even though Washington has a lot to play for. I think Jalen Hurts is gonna, as long as that blocking holds up against that formidable defensive front of the Washington football team, not the Redskins. I think the Eagles can take this one home if in a high scoring game, honestly.
Nah, I would disagree with that. I got the Washington because like Washington has something to play for. Eagles don't, and Jalen Hurts has not been hot. Like as of last game, like in the second half, he hasn't played good from the second half from last game. And yeah, so I gotta go with the Washington football team here.
Redskins.
I almost said Redskins.
Since Smith is not playing, give me the Philly. Philly's gonna win this one, and then that means that since Washington loses, and that means that the Cowboys would make the playoffs.
Right.
Oh man, you gotta watch these obnoxious Cowboys fans say they made the playoffs with a sub 500 record. I mean, I want the Redskins to happen, so I don't have to deal with those stupid Cowboys fans in the comments section of every
Honestly-
Instagram post. But I'm pointing
Honestly-
at the Eagles.
I want the Cowboys to win it because like I can't wait for those memes to come out like on Instagram, on Twitter. Those are the best. Like
I mean,
Like-
yeah.
like going to the playoffs and walking right out. That'll be funny to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, like I still think the Eagles are gonna win this game. Jalen Hurts, he's really, really good. He can make a play out of like probably this tape. Like he can pretty much do anything with the ball. That offense, like I mean, honestly, if the Eagles can get rid of that Wentz contract, I think they have a pretty decent future with him at the quarterback position.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think this is gonna come down to quarterback play.
Mhm.
Eagles have a substantially better quarterback. So I think they're gonna win this game.
Right. Okay. So that's gonna do it for our score predictions. Not a score, our predictions for next week. So we're gonna move into our kind of special segment for this week called Outrageous Overreactions. So our first overreaction we're gonna start with: are the Jets a decent football team?
Douche does not think so. I do not think so as well. But with that being said, they're at least trending upward. They beat the Browns, obviously without the receivers, but whatever. And then they beat the somewhat fully healthy Rams, which I think those are two teams you want to beat at the end of the day. Like those are pretty two playoff nearly playoff teams. Obviously you gave up Trevor Lawrence, which I don't know why the hell you would do that, but like your defense has actually been pretty decent. Darnold has looked pretty decent. Like there's something to look forward to, I guess. Yeah, obviously I gotta get rid of Gase, but I mean, I don't know. I still think the Jets are a pretty bad team. They have a practice squad with players at pretty much every position, except for a couple. But yeah, I don't think they're decent.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they'll
Yeah, they're not
suck
decent
until they fire Gase.
Right.
Until then, they'll just suck. Yeah.
Bro, their whole team belongs in a practice squad. They're not decent at all.
I mean, they got the
I mean, yeah, they got
receivers,
some players, but most of their team is practice squad players.
Yeah, I mean they got what, Braxton Berrios, you got Jamison
Mims is
Crowder,
pretty solid.
Denzel Mims. Yeah, they got. I mean, they got a decent core on that offense. Obviously,
And-
they got Mekhi Becton, and then Sam Darnold. I think they can build around Sam Darnold. But I mean,
could be something with the right coach.
yeah,
Not-
he
Yeah.
could.
He could
looked
possibly
shaky.
like.
I
I
think
mean,
an
he's still really young.
Yeah.
Like he's like
Interesting fit.
23. I don't know.
Yeah, I think an interesting fit could be Eric Bieniemy of the Chiefs. Like Sam Darnold can be a gunslinger in the right game plan and in the right system. He's made a couple of like pretty insane throws that no one talks about because he plays for the Jets. But
Right.
like he has a lot of talent, and in the right system, I think he could be really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not ready to give up on him.
Yeah, but as of now, I think the Jets they're not decent despite their last
Yeah.
You guys
two
still think
wins.
they draft Fields or stick with Darnold?
It's a tough one. I
Oh,
think.
they said that they'll build around Darnold if Fields is. Actually, I don't know this. Look, I saw it somewhere, but
Yeah, I mean, if I was the Jets, I don't think I'm taking Fields. I mean, he's
Mhm.
shown to be pretty. He struggles with
Inconsistent.
pressure and
yeah,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
he's
he's
been
been
kind of
inconsistent.
inconsistent this year.
Yeah.
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 I think like there's a lot of pretty decent position players. I think you grab Devontae Smith or possibly the linebacker out of Penn. I think like
Parsons?
yeah, I think that's the name. Like there's some good players in this draft. I don't know if you can probably trade back, get more assets, and try to build up that team even more.
Right.
That's what I would personally do because like is Fields worth the number 2 pick? Is Zach Wilson worth the number 2 pick? You really don't
Definitely
know.
not. Right. I think the surefire pick is at number 1, obviously Trevor Lawrence, but
Yeah,
after that, I don't think it's hard to make a case.
I think
Solid case.
I think Sewell is he might be the best prospect in the entire draft, to be honest.
Yeah.
But he's an lineman, so he doesn't have that much positional value. I mean,
Right.
obviously he's still a lineman, but like if you have a quarterback there, you're always going to take the better quarterback. You're always going to take the quarterback over the O line.
Right.
Yeah, but like I think that personally the Jets should trade back, possibly to a team like the Bears. But they would have to give up a heap load. But you never know.
Yeah. I mean, so we'll see, but the future. I mean, we'll see what they do in the draft and free agency, but it's not. They're not looking too bad, honestly. But the first step is they got to fire Case.
Mhm.
Okay, so for the second overreaction, we're gonna talk about, is Mitch Trubisky actually good? We know his struggles early in the year. I mean, we know he's been benched and things like that for Nick Foles. But I mean, is Mitch Trubisky the quarterback of the Bears' future? Is he good enough to carry that franchise into the playoffs and beyond?
To be honest, I think it's too early to tell. I think we have to see how he does against the Packers. Well, like as of right now, I think he is because like right after he got benched, he's shown like he looks like a whole new quarterback in my opinion. I think we could all agree on that.
Right. Yeah.
You said like, is he ever going to be able to carry the Bears? I don't know if he's going to be able to carry them, but he has a chance to be Kirk Cousins that is not a choker, like a decent quarterback. That can try and make mistakes. Like if Mitch can limit the mistakes, he's going to be a good quarterback. Maybe not a great one. He'll be an above average one if he can limit those mistakes. And if Nagy can play to his strengths and Laser can play to his strengths, I think that's why you're seeing a totally different quarterback, a much better quarterback. And this is what Bears fans have been begging for I don't know how long, 2+ years. Like Mitch, he's good with his legs, and you got to use those legs for as long as you can.
Right. I mean, frankly, in my opinion, I don't think he's gonna be great in the future. Obviously, we know what he's done right now. I mean, he's had strung together a few nice games against the Lions, Texans, not the Lions, Texans, Jags. He had a decent game. I mean, he's had moments earlier in the year against the Lions. You know, he's shown that he's capable to do what he was drafted for. But I think he's just too inconsistent. I mean, we know his decision making is somewhat questionable, and obviously we know his legs can do work. But I think I just haven't seen enough from him when it comes to like throwing wise. So as of now, I don't think he's really that great, and I don't think he's gonna be there for their future.
The better phrase would be Mitch solid, not Mitch good. You know, because like he's like played better, but like versus bad defenses. So
you got to see him against a good defense before
like
we say anything.
Like the Packers.
I think Packers obviously their run game has been improving. The run defense has been improving. They have some playmakers in the secondary too. So like I feel like this will be a good test for Mitch to see whether he really truly turned the corner, or is this just like a fluke? Because he always seems to put together a couple of good games towards the end of the season, like he did last year. So I really want to see. I'm really excited for this game to see whether the Bears have their franchise QB or not.
Yeah, definitely not, obviously, because the Bears are going to get shut out, and Mitch is going to throw it upwards.
Let's leave that for Sunday.
Shut up. Leave that for Sunday next week.
They're gonna win.
Man. All right, so our last topic is going to be: did the Washington football team fail Dwayne Haskins, the first round pick? Did they fail him in their development after they released him?
No,
I gotta go with a solid
shot.
no. Look, he's way too immature to be a quarterback of a team. Like, how are you gonna go to a strip club or whatever club he went to when you have a game next week and when it's not allowed by the NFL due to COVID? He's just not mature enough. Like he reminds me of Johnny Manziel, to be honest.
Right,
but not as talented.
Yeah, I mean, in college, I mean, he had a great year, 2018 in Ohio State. Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year, won the Sammy Baugh Trophy, #1 in passing yards, #1 in the NCAA, third in Heisman voting. I mean, his stats, I mean, they showed he was capable of playing at the next level at a very high level. And actually, I mean, I think in terms of their development, if we take away the immaturity, I just didn't think they developed him right. I mean, of course he looked inconsistent, but it's tough to say because we never really got to see what he could fully do. He's just been starting and then sitting, just up and down, especially with the return of Alex Smith after that injury. So I mean, in terms of just skill development, I think they just didn't give him enough of a chance, honestly. But he also didn't give him enough of a chance.
I'm actually gonna agree with you. I know it's like not really a popular take, but usually teams don't cut their QBs, their rookie QBs after 1 3/4 seasons. Like you're supposed to give your QB more time than that. And also, I think it's not being mentioned enough that he had Jay Gruden as coach last year, who's a god awful head coach. I mean, he's a terrible head coach.
Yeah.
But like, obviously there hasn't been much consistency within that organization. Like he said, he's been starting and he's gotten benched. But I feel like that's also him being immature. That's also a responsibility of the organization. Players are going to be immature. But like at some point you kind of have to like lay down the law. And you have to try and help them mature not only as players but as men.
Yeah.
Like so many organizations have done, and I feel like they kind of failed him in that department.
Right.
Obviously, like at some point you have to take care of yourself. You have to be responsible, but like I don't think the Redskins helped him in that at all.
Yeah, I mean, dude is he cannot keep his head on straight. I mean, got the opportunity of a lifetime, and this dude's out here partying in strip clubs.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, it's. I mean, I would place the blame probably 60-40 with 60 on him. Yeah. I think he just kind of threw away
70-30.
70-30. Yeah,
it's definitely shared blame. Like it's not all on one party.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, what's the next topic?
Yeah, and our last topic would probably be: is John Gruden going to be gone for next year?
I think he stays for
Will
next
he?
year.
Probably not. Should he? Yes. Because I mean, this is like the second year season where they started off well, like 6-3, but missed the playoffs.
Right.
That should not be happening 2 years in a row, and that's on the coach.
I think it stays because like I don't know if you guys remember this, but did you guys see his 10-year contract with the Raiders?
Yeah. I don't know if it's.
I don't think they'll want to get.
So.
Yeah, that's too much money to give up. I don't see them firing him.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna try and give him as many chances as possible, especially with that huge contract. But like, I mean, I don't watch Raiders games. I feel bad for people that do. But like from what I've heard, Gruden's play calling is pretty questionable at times. They've been incredibly inconsistent. They beat the Chiefs, which no other team has done, but they've also almost lost to the Jets. They're lucky the Jets are trying to tank. They're actually doing something right for once. and rushing people on a Hail Mary. But like
The defensive coordinator.
yeah.
got better.
I think like when you sign a coach with that big of a contract, like you have to give him as many chances as you possibly can.
Right.
But I don't think he's the coach of the future for that team. They have some pieces, but they're obviously not doing anything with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think he should be gone personally, but
Yeah.
the Raiders might think differently.
Yeah, I think he's just kind of riding the coattails of that 2002 Super Bowl win. I think teams are still like they kind of use that as like they know that he has the history of being a great coach, and I think they still like they hold out hope that he can kind of return back to that Super Bowl winning form. But obviously, in his past 2 years, he hasn't really shown that. So,
and this is a
yeah.
different league. Like now,
Mhm.
it's all about the high-powered offenses. You can't really rely. I mean, you can't really rely on a defense to take you to a Super Bowl solely.
Right.
You have to have at least competent defense. Like it's a different league. Especially with like you see like the Chiefs, the Titans now, the Packers. They're all some of the best teams in the league are driven by their offenses.
Right.
Obviously, you have the Steelers, but even they're starting to look questionable. So yeah, it's a different league. I don't know why they hired him to that big of a contract in the first place. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's going to do it for the first episode of the Ignore the Whistle podcast. Thanks to everyone for tuning in, and join us next week for episode 2. Thank you.